everyone, my name is Anna. If you know me from somewhere, thank you for being here. If you don't know me from anywhere, thank you for being here. It's January 7th, 2 p.m. in October of last year. After the usual cry session in therapy, I looked at myself, looked at my life and decided, why in the world am I stuck? Why in the world am I trying to get unstuck by moving a mountain? I'm just going to get crushed by the mountain. This is going to be the first installment, the first episode of my series, my experiment of moving pebbles. I'm going to give myself 1 year, no pressure, to try and move pebbles and see if it helps me move a mountain. I'm going to have to deal with trauma, physical problems. I do think that a lot of it is related to trauma and related to my need for perfection and for wanting to be perfect. I chose 4 areas of my life that I want to focus on. We are going to try to improve my life together. I'm going to try and improve my life within a year. The plan is simple. Simple does not mean easy. It's going to be simple, but it's not going to be easy. Chapter 1. Health and fitness. Who does not want to look and feel good sustainably? I've been learning to take care of myself. I've got a few things that I didn't put in my plan, like a few doctor's visits. But as an example, last year I went to the dermatologist and finally got Accutane prescribed to me. Ever since I was a teenager, I had issues with eating disorders, and I want to make sure that I don't fall back into old unhealthy patterns of restricting and binging and so on and so forth. I'll see you later. In a very similar fashion, I think that my posture has suffered a lot from the weight of all of the pain that I was carrying, all of the responsibility and all of the pressure that I was carrying. I'd really like to improve my posture because I am not trying to look like a hunchback when I'm 29. I was working and listening to music, and in the beginning it was okay, but then it made me feel very, very, very extremely emotional, sad. That means 2 things. 1, I'm going to have to talk to my therapist, and 2, I'm going to get YouTube in the background just to have like a little bit of Christmas vibes. So I'm back with an update about how I'm dealing with my feelings. I just realized that because of how I'm feeling right now, I really have this desire to engage in some type of unhealthy, self-destructive behavior. I'm not an addict. I overeat. I know that in any case, I'm not going to magically feel better because I gave in to the self-destructive thoughts that I'm having. Good thing I have work. It keeps me busy. C'est con en fait. C'est vraiment bête. Pourquoi je suis en train de pleurer? Ça m'affecte pas. Ça m'affecte absolument pas et je suis en train de pleurer en plus. Ура, наконец-то!
Ну так, это интересно, да, что как бы для меня это такой механизм вытеснения. Ну, то есть как будто выгодно вытеснить, знаешь, чтобы там спать спокойно, грубо говоря.
Да.
Забыл и спи спокойно. Ну, можно предположить, что, возможно, темы не такие уж и легкие для тебя, что лучше их как бы подзабывать. Много неприятных сессий, много неприятных тем, которые ты тоже как бы забываешь. Ну, чтобы как-то...
Ну, приятно, что с тобой. My therapist said, for the longest time in my life, I was being fed soup with poop. So soup with poop. To a degree, I was just, eating that soup with poop. Then at a certain point, I decided to reject the soup altogether. And now I'm picking and choosing to eat the soup without the poop. And so all of these things, soup with poop on one end, other soup with poop on another end, that completely contradict each other. I'm having an inner fight. Very useful therapy session, lots of crying. Chapter 2, money and finances. Obviously, this is not something that's going to, fall from the sky, big bags falling from the sky. I'm going to try and focus on getting my savings back up to be really comfortable if something were to happen. I don't want to take on anything more than that for this year because I don't want to spread myself too thin. My computer broke down yesterday. I have to buy a new computer. We just now found an okay-ish way to do it that would not contradict financial plans that I've set myself for the purpose of the 1-year experiment. I can afford to like just go and buy it, but I didn't really want to do that. So we found a solution. We came here about 2 months ago and I got Elle his present, his PS5 Slam. There was the joystick, there was lots of stuff basically, and there was this one consultant who conducted the sale, the purchase. We came back next time about a month later and we bought like, I think it was AirPods, some type of AirPods, and now we're going back to the store to buy a joystick and like a DualSense and a new MacBook. And I made the joke that if it's the same guy today as well, he's going to start seeing us as walking wallets because of how much money we're spending. We'll see. Basically, we were told that in this store they don't have it. We're gonna try and see if they have it in another store right now, and we will go and
2,000 to 3,000 rupees.
go and get it. Fingers crossed. Talk to you later. We have made it to a different mall this time. We have actually done everything that we needed to do online. Now we just have to like sign the documents and get the order. We figure out a way that I would pay for the computer myself without actually paying for the computer myself. So basically, it's Elle who ordered it, and Elle usually sends me an allowance. What we decided to do is that I relinquish my allowance. I'm not going to get an allowance just for the like amount that I would have been paying for the computer, which is really cool because that means that I don't have to use my revenue, my income, and he doesn't have to use his revenue or his income, which is really nice. So yeah, anyway, talk to you later. Did I manifest this computer? I think I manifested it. I want to tell you something incredible. We've made some calculations, and according to Girl Maths, this computer is practically free. Let me explain why. I had the money to purchase it. We decided to like split the payments, and you get like a zero interest rate, but it builds your credit score. I am the one that's going to be paying for it, but Elle took the loan because it's easier for him to get the loans. Here's the fun part. Elle actually sends me a monthly allowance so that I can spend, you know, on my nails, on stuff like that. So what we decided to do is that instead of me sending something to Elle to pay for the loan, we're just going to not do the allowance for a few months. I did not count the allowance money in my budget, so technically my budget for the year does not change one bit. In his yearly budget, he has to count the allowance as an expense, so his monthly or his yearly budget is not changing anyway also. That basically means that, according to Girl Math, this computer is free. Isn't that amazing? I really feel like I manifested this new computer because it was on my rewards list I would buy myself for reaching a certain amount of personal savings with my own hard-earned money. Then my computer broke down, and my computer was like, no, you need to get the computer right now. And obviously, what would money and finance be without business, without career and work? One of the milestones that I wanted to reach in January was I wanted to find a 9-to-5 job. So I'm an entrepreneur and I couldn't imagine being an employee. I wanted to get a job in January. Now I got the job in December, so I'm just going to try and grow into this position, get as many bonuses as I can, you know, do a really good job, try and maybe get a raise by the end of the year.
The day is November 6th. I have been applying actively to jobs, sending my resume. I've sent like 60 resumes. I've received lots of rejections, which I don't really care about that, which is absolutely insane. Am I changing? Is therapy working? Is therapy working? Is it like actually working and helping me be a bit healthier? I cried like a bitch in therapy today, but I've also received one test task. On top of that, I received a call from a company. They were very secretive. The recruiter, she's talking to me, talking, explaining. She was like, okay, does it sound interesting to you? Do you have any questions? I'm like, yeah, I do have a question. Tell me the name of the company. Like, can you send me the website of the company, something to go off. I want to see what the company does. And she's like, well, you know, as I told you, it's like a really big international holding and we can't really like tell you more about it because it's like, it's under an NDA, even the name of the... And they were in the iGaming sphere. I let her talk, you know. She continues talking about how she like, they have a reputation, and they're a really big company, which is why they cannot tell me, come on, P&G is a really big company. They're not going around like, we found you on the website, but we cannot tell you what the company name is because we're a really big company. At some point, she says, iBetting industry, and I'm like, Can you say that? Come again. The iBetting. I would have been working in marketing for an agency whose main client or main project or whatever is like iBetting, iGambling, casino. No. I'm against this, okay? This is against my values and principles. I'm not gonna work to promote it. I found an amazing job at a tobacco company. But it's a tobacco company. I'm not going to go and work in a tobacco company to promote it if I don't think it's a good thing to do. I've got another interview scheduled for Friday, which I'm actually quite excited about. It's the opposite. They are for a healthy lifestyle, well-being, wellness, healthiness, you know. I've been looking to find something in marketing because apart from being, you know, an entrepreneur, I actually want to try myself at a 9-to-5 for a company at like a almost entry-level job. I've had my interview with the company's CEO. It went quite fine, actually. Who knows? Maybe I will get hired. We will see. Now I'm gonna go to the gym for my first workout of the week. Let's go. They have made me an offer. I had like the interview with the CEO this morning, and on the same day they were like, we're ready to make you an offer. Going over accounts that I picked yesterday to add extra comments on them on why I've picked them, potentially reconsider if I realise that it wasn't a good pick. I begin at 9 and then I have like a lunch break and then I finish at 6 p.m. Right after that I also have lessons with my students, meaning that I actually finish around 8. I guess that's okay. I used to work like that, but that was when I was in university. I could spend most of the day working during class on something else, on my projects. Business, career, work. For me, it's not just the 9-to-5 job that I just got. I've also taught languages as a teacher. I've had side hustles on top of that. My business that I was building, social media, YouTube that I'm just coming back on, Instagram, chapter 4, growth and learning. I am a language nerd. I want to try to get 2 skills. One skill is going to be my Dutch and another skill is going to be Mandarin. I want to improve my Dutch and I want to start learning Mandarin. I want to tell you guys about an experience I had yesterday. Guys, I've decided to not completely abandon my Dutch. So I decided to work with a tutor. I'm in Russia right now. I decided to try and find a tutor on a service that I could easily pay for with my Russian card. I was contacted by Tutor B, that's what we're going to call her. She lives in the Netherlands and she's not Dutch herself, but she's married to a Dutch man. She's been living there since she moved as a student, from what I understood. First thing is she didn't ask me about my level. She's like, okay, this is the first lesson plan, and she sent me the alphabet and how to read, like phonetics, pronunciation. I mean, I'm not laughing
laughing. At some point, people have to learn that. I told her that I know the alphabet. I'm able to have conversation. I'm able to read. I can understand speech. I can understand like videos, films. I do, however, have a lot of passive vocab and I lack active vocab. You can talk to me. If I understand your question, I could create some type of an answer. There is a chance that it's not going to be the most optimal sentence, the most perfect sentence that you will hear. As for the pronunciation, I'm not one to toot my own horn, but my pronunciation is fucking good. When I used to take lessons with other tutors, they used to think I was joking. They used to think it was a joke and that I was pranking them and testing them because they didn't believe that I was taking lessons because I'm supposed to be Dutch. I didn't clarify everything to her because I don't want to come out as I know everything. I don't know everything, considering the fact that I haven't spoken Dutch in a very, very long time. I told her. So I said, I still have issues with articles, especially when using adjectives. It does happen sometimes that I have issues with conjugation and I feel like I don't have enough vocab. The logic that I would expect is for the teacher to ask me, okay, what is your difficulty with the articles? Now, and then I would have said, I have issues with choosing de of het. She didn't ask me that. When I received the updated document with what we would be doing, I thought to myself, I think I know all of this because it's pretty much the same in French and in English, but we'll try, maybe I will learn something. It was like picking verbs, like doen, maken and werken, and also you have to like choose whether you're going to put like de or you're not going to put, so zero article. Anyway, very, very nice lady. And I do think that she is a good teacher if you want to learn in a specific style. Now, the shocking part. I told this to Elle, I told this to Emma, my Dutch best friend, and I told this to my father. We had an exercise. She asked me, what do you think? Is it de or is it het? And I said het, and she was like, very good. I don't think you would know this on your own. Somebody probably told you. You can say, did somebody tell you about it? Did you learn about it before? But I don't think you would know this on your own. I think somebody told you. Next, very beautiful. I think it was like a word like vandaag or something like gebruik. And I said like gebruik. And she was like, listen, Anna, there is one sound that Dutch people are enamored with, absolutely in love with. They fantasize about it, obsessed in their delulu, because it's the salulu about this sound. She was like, they are in love with it. They can't live without it. When they hear it, their ears just tickle them. It's the literal, you know, water of the gods falling into their ears, liquid gold slapped onto their face, and it's the sound. You have to say it as rough and strong as you can. Say it after me. I think she was assuming that I don't know how to make this sound. They love it when it's rough. They love it when it's strong. Soft, not gonna do it. And I was thinking in my mind, how about all the people in the south of the Netherlands? How about Belgium? I personally didn't really love her pronunciation. It's very different from the Dutch pronunciations that I'm used to. I know people from different places in the Netherlands. I have heard different accents from the Netherlands. So she says to me, I said bellen, werken. Most people usually drop the N's at the end of the N endings, like mensen, mensen, maken, maken. Like it's natural. That's how it happens, okay, in my mind. It's natural. She stops me. Anna, I'm going to write an abbreviation for you. ABN. ABN means like standard or common civilized Dutch. I don't think it's a really good thing to say. Like, if you speak ABN, it's the language of the civilized. If you speak some other form of Dutch, you uncivilized little. It's been changed since then to AN, standard Dutch. I would say it's the equivalent of the English received pronunciation. Okay, so AN in Dutch and received pronunciation in English, equivalents. And she says to me, I teach Algemeen Beschaafd Nederlands. And I'm like, perfect. If you teach ABN, okay, let's go with ABN. Fine, no problem. But then she says, when you drop the N's at the end of your words, that is really, really frowned upon in ABN. ABN is the way that the civilized folk speaks. If they say this to you, you will assume that they are penniless, not a penny in their pocket, and probably not very cultivated or civilized. Now, obviously, speak as you want, pronounce things the way you want. This is my advice to you because I teach the ABN. None of my friends speak in perfect ABN. As a matter of fact, King of the Netherlands himself drops his N's. King Willie, I'm sorry to break it to you. I am sorry to bring you this very vital information. You are uncivilized and uncultured because you drop your N's. I heard you in the interviews. I listened. She had a bone to pick with the fact that I didn't roll my R's, that I didn't say werken and I said werken. She said, like, pronounce your R's, pronounce it. I'm pronouncing them. Nederlander. Or do I need to say Nederlander? Or it doesn't count. It's like one of those people, one of those teachers that have like this line and this image of what the language is like, otherwise it's not accepted. Needless to say, at the end of my lesson, I felt completely drained of energy. Also, all of my Dutch friends and family friends and everybody, every Dutch person that I've ever communicated with and know is uncivilized and uncultured. How dare they drop their N's and not say their R like this. I feel like it really helped me when I was journaling on a daily basis, so I want to bring back gratitude journaling and just journaling once a day, writing down some thoughts, or even if it's just one sentence saying, had a good day today. Bye. Another thing I'd really like to implement that I think might help with my health is meditating. I suffer from anxiety. Who's surprised? Who in the world is surprised? As a child, my parents taught me how to meditate. I've built a habit tracker for each one of the quarters to kind of see if I'm doing the habits. I will try to do a quarter report every end of quarter and also tell you about how the next quarter is going to be organized, as well as talk about the changes that have happened and if we have any changes in the plan itself. Feel free to stay with me. Pebble moving. Thank you, little stone friends, little pebble friends. Have a lovely day.